Hello there, this is Awhobiwom. Welcome. So welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time, thank you for coming. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you for showing up once again to watch another video. So guys, on today's video, I'm just going to be talking about things that no one told me about moving abroad or moving to Poland. So these are things that no one told me. I had to experience them by myself. So that's what I'm bringing to you guys today. I hope that you find it helpful, so you know that these are the things that you're up against when you're moving abroad, or in my case, specifically moving to Poland. So guys, let's get into the gist for today. So guys, the number one thing that no one told me, that I witnessed it by myself, is the loneliness. I have a saying that goes, not to be Socrates, but I have a saying that goes, abroad, loneliness will kill you before hunger. Like, loneliness will kill you before hunger. In Poland, loneliness will kill you before hunger. Because here, food is easy to buy. Like, you can have as little as 20 zloty and you would enter and it would be able to cook you stew and rice and even have extra. But you see loneliness. So when I got here, it hit me that I was all by myself. A country that I knew no one, and I had no one to talk to. So it was difficult. It was really difficult at first. There were days that were just really lonely. So I tried to make contact with other Nigerians, and which brings me to the resolution of the loneliness. Not a complete resolution, but a partial resolution, which is it's important for you to find community wherever you are, whatever city you're coming into. You try to find community, people of like mind like you, or people from a similar origin. It could be country, it could be whatever, but just try to find community and build and try to get to know other people and just have that community, just that human presence. So now, this was something that was really difficult for me at first. Like, I was so lonely because some days I would go to class, and after classes I have nothing else to do. I have a lot of free time. I didn't have any friends. It was just really lonely until, of course, I later made friends. Shout out to Nijat. Nijat was like my closest friend in my class, and we started to do a lot of things together then. But it was really lonely, so lonely. There were days where I would literally just be crying for no reason. I would just be crying. I couldn't explain it. I started missing home so much. I became so dependent on phone conversations. God, I was so much, there was almost no time you would see me that I wasn't talking on the phone. I started to bug my friends with phone calls. I would call them and I would stay on the phone for hours with them or my family, just talking, just knowing that, okay, there's someone at the other end of the line that hears me and understands my ordeal. I even had loneliness made I and my friend bond. My friend's in the UK. She also went for her master's in the UK. And when we called and we spoke to each other, we found out that we're in similar situations. We're both lonely. So we started to call each other every single day, check up on each other. Oh, what is going on with you? So one thing, loneliness is real, guys. It's very, very real. You feel it. Even till now, I've been here for 2 years. I still feel lonely most of the times. Of course, it's not as bad as it used to be, because now I have other Nigerians that I'm friends with, and I have other friends as well. But it's not as bad as it was. But every now and then, I still feel it. So the second thing that no one told me, or the second thing that I had to experience, is that it's actually not a walk in the park to get a job. Now, getting a job, like it is in any other part of the world, is difficult, just like it is here in Poland. Of course, you can get a job, but it comes with a lot of applications. So I came, at first I was focused on not working, but trust me, I was still applying for jobs. I didn't want to work for the first 4 months, that's the first semester, but I was still putting out applications. So I was applying for jobs based on my field. So I was applying. I was just putting out random applications. I was not applying as an English teacher, but just random applications. I wasn't intentional about it. I didn't know. I was just applying, but nothing was coming true. Imagine I wasn't trying, and then I was like, wait, I'm not trying and I'm not getting. Okay, maybe if I try, I would get. So when the semester was about to be over, I started to actually put in my the efforts to apply. I didn't get any interviews. I wasn't getting any interviews. That's what brings me to the remedy to the second problem. I had to tell myself the truth. I had to get into the streets and look for a job, which meant doing whatever so far as I would survive on it. So I started, I and my friends, we went out. They were also international students. We went out, we went to McDonald's, we went to Pizza Hut. Like, we just started going to restaurants and asking them, oh, are you guys employing? Do you need somebody? Is there space? So this was what we did. I remember this particular afternoon I think it was in June, that myself and Zen and Nijat, three of us, we were just up and down. We went everywhere. I even went for an interview in Bilani. Bilani is like outskirts of Wrocław. I went there for an interview at Pizza Hut. So it was that serious. Like, I started to look for jobs in restaurants, eateries, and what have you. And then finally got the McDonald's one. I got the McDonald's one and I got another restaurant, but I settled for McDonald's because it came first. So I took what I got. So that's the second thing. Just take what you get. But did I stop applying? No. I still kept on applying professionally. I started talking. Don't forget, I said you should network. So I started talking with these other older Nigerians that were all working in reputable firms. And I'm like, how did you guys do it? How did you guys get jobs? And they were like, oh, you need to be on LinkedIn. You need to set up your profile. You need to just keep applying. So I just followed through with their advice. So I was on LinkedIn. I updated my profile. I kept on applying for jobs. And finally, I got a reasonable job that I was able to actually transition from the menial jobs to actually getting a corporate job. So it takes time. It's not a walk in the park. I've gotten questions severally asking me what's the timeline to get a job. I really don't have an answer to that because everybody's lives are different. My friend, he also came to Poland. He came after me. He got a corporate job immediately. Not immediately, like after some months. He didn't need to do the McDonald's work. So he got a corporate job. He's currently working a corporate job. I know another person that couldn't get a corporate job. They had to work with the factories and all that. Until now, they are still doing those jobs. Everybody's timelines, everybody's lives are different. I need you to understand that you would not necessarily have exactly the same path as another person. But one thing I told myself that my case was different. I was going to get a job. I just kept on telling myself, like encouraging myself and telling myself that it didn't matter. I was just going to keep applying and I was going to actually get something good in due time. So it's okay to just do what you can for the meantime and keep your eyes on the goal or on the prize and just keep it going. So that's the second part. The third one is it is difficult to actually be working and schooling. Before now, when I was in university, like in my bachelor's degree, I never worked a day. I was just a full-time student. I didn't know what it was to combine a job and work. But when I started working and schooling, that was when I knew that it was hectic. I have a video that I had talked about combining both. So it was difficult at first to be able to to just get used to doing both. I was so anxious about what happens, because I got the job during summer. I was wondering what happens when school starts and I have to be at school, and the course I was doing was very, very time taking. Like, my course needs you to, like, you have to physically be going to classes. You cannot even afford to miss some classes. So I was wondering how it was going to be possible, and somehow I was able to get a job that I worked based on shifts, and I was able to speak with my people at work, and they were able to put me on the evening shifts. So in the morning I would go to school, and from there I would go to work. Like, I would come back tired. Another thing that nobody told me was it is difficult to actually use the earnings that you're making from work to pay your fees, because now when you're just working and you are not considering the fees you're paying, the only thing you're catering for is just your rent, your feeding, and probably you'll be sending money back home to your family. That's all you're thinking. And then your savings, that's all you're thinking about. But now if there is tuition that you're also paying, you've added another chunk of responsibility to yourself. It's not easy. I have a friend who has been working and schooling and paying his fees, and trust me, it is not easy for him, but he's doing it somehow. It's not impossible to work and school, but it's very difficult. So you need to know, I need you to know that it is not something that you can just, because a lot of people ask me, can I work and school, can I work and pay my school fee? It's not that easy. It's not something I'll just tell you yes. So you need to know what you're getting into. I always advise to have a backup. So if it's possible, you just have that spare money to pay your tuition in case, okay, what if you don't get a job in time? Or what if the job you get, the responsibilities that you have to cater for, like your housing and your feeding, what if it's more than you can, like the money you're getting is not enough to meet all that and the school fee? What would you do? So you need to have a backup. You cannot just hold on, or you cannot just relocate from your country and just hold on to the fact that, oh, when I get to Poland, I will be working and paying my tuition. Or when I get to any other country, anybody that is telling you from any country that they are abroad and they are working and paying their school fee, you need to ask them how difficult it is as well. They might not be painting the entire picture to you. It's actually very rough, but you can do it if you decide to do it. But please make sure you have a backup in case you do not meet up with it. The next thing that I wish someone had told me is that school here is the real deal. Of course, back in Nigeria, it's not like school is not the real deal or anything, but here, like, the timetable is cumbersome. Like, you have workload, like your work is massive, especially if you're in an engineering related field or medical related. In short, I don't think there's any exceptions here. Like, you have a lot of things that you're doing. You have laboratories, you have classes, you have seminars, you have projects, you have things that you're constantly doing. School is like, it's actually strenuous. There were so many times I'll sit down in class, the teacher is teaching, and I'll just be, in my mind, I'll just be like, who sent me? Who sent me? Like, I had the who sent me moments. Like, I had that who sent me moments, like, half of the time I was in school. Like, hey God, I would just sit down and say, Jesus, who sent me work? Like, this master's degree, who sent me say mark on drum? Like, there were those times that, sorry, I'm using pidgin English. Who sent me means who asked me, like, how did I get myself here? Like, how did I get myself into this? So this, like, some days they'll give you some assignments that you would spend hours on YouTube trying to figure it out, and at the end of the day, probably you will not get the answer, or you'd have to ask somebody else, oh, have you done it? And if the person has, the person would give you. That's if they even give you. But if they don't give you, it's left for you to sort yourself out. That was another thing that nobody told me, that school was serious business. But the upside to it is that as it's serious business, before examinations, they give you area of concentration. They give you possible questions that would come out. And if you fail an exam, you can rewrite it. Poland is a good place, very welcoming. So far, it has been good to me. I've grown. I've seen myself in the past 2 years just move from one level to the other, and I'm thankful to God for that. So I just decided that I should put out this video and let you know that these are things that you should be aware of before you move to Poland. So I hope you found this video informative, and do not forget to comment down below, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, turn on your notification bells. Stay safe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.